Vandal Savage, an evil dictator blessed with immortality. He has achieved what no one in human history ever has. He has conquered the entire planet.
And you are?
Rip Hunter. I'm from East London. Oh, and the future.
I've been tasked with assembling an elite team to travel through time, to capture Savage before he grows into the monster he becomes. Of all the people who ever lived, I chose you 8. I certainly hope that you won't let me and the world down.
I can get behind that. It's time to start growing, so it's gonna get a little rough.
We've lived in the shadows long enough. Be a hero in the light.
Let's get this party started!
Sure it's a good idea to leave these 2 unsupervised on a time machine?
I don't just burn, pal. You, my love, almost got us killed.
Have you two considered couples counseling? I know it's difficult for you to fathom, but in the future, none of you are heroes. You're legends.
Course plotted for 1975.
All your worlds are about to change.
People actually war this crap? Fortunately, we now have larger problems than Savage. If only you'd have listened to me about the dangers of upsetting the timeline.
I've seen Men of Steel die and Dark Knights fall.
Your entire 21st century world will suffer.
Rip has already seen the future. He knows exactly what's in store for each of us.
If we have the power to change the world,
Don't you think we have the power to change our own fate?
For better or for worse.
I like being part of a team, man.
Me too.
Let's do this.
I love the 70s!
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So another early Christmas present. First big Legends of Tomorrow trailer with actual footage from the series. So let's break it down. And I'm starting a new round of the reverse flash ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. A lot of you did see the trailer that they posted earlier this year before the CW upfronts and were a little confused because it's like, you know, what's the deal with this footage? Oliver's wearing his old costume. Isn't he supposed to have his new costume if this doesn't pick up till after the mid-season finale of The Flash and Arrow? Well, the footage that they aired earlier this year wasn't from the actual series. That was just a promo they made to sell the show to advertisers. Think of it as like a proof of concept. This trailer actually has footage from the series. And right away, you are correct, Vandal Savage did say Man of Steel and Dark Knight in this. So Superman and Batman do exist in this universe, if anyone's ever asking, but I think they're only able to get away with it because it's a tongue-in-cheek reference. I'm not expecting to see them actually be on screen. But the really big stuff first, Rip Hunter's time ship, it's called the Wave Rider. It has the little WR on the side of it. I'm totally expecting to hear a bigger on the inside joke. We'll see, because this is Rory we're talking about. But if you remember to the finale for The Flash Season 1, when Eobard Thawne's getting ready to go home in his little time ship, he said it looked like an early version of Rip Hunter's first time ship. If you have read the Time Masters comic, it's more of an Easter egg for that. That's what Rip Hunter's ship looks like in that comic book. But if you do want to read a comic book to read about Rip Hunter Time Master things, read Vanishing Point. That's much more recent. They go back in time to try and find Batman. But this season of Legends of Tomorrow is all about them stopping Vandal Savage from taking over the world in the future. Now they make it sound like Vandal Savage also gains some mastery over time, probably not to the degree that Rip Hunter has, but they make it sound like Vandal Savage is also messing with the timeline. But the producers basically say that the reason Rip Hunter comes back and assembles this team is because he sees all these awful things happening and he wants to clean up the timeline. He's like, this should not be happening. So if that's the case, it might be like The Flash Season 1, where the timeline has already been changed when the show picks up. Like, oh my god, Vandal Savage messed the timeline up, we have to fix it now. But Mark Guggenheim did confirm that they would be visiting very big points in time, very big events in DC Comics history, past, present, and future. Now, because they said that Vandal Savage has taken over the world, I don't think we're going to be seeing any kind of Crisis on Infinite Earths, but they could totally do that in a future season. They did say that the idea is that the cast would rotate a little bit season to season, so they can cycle characters in, they can cycle characters out. And they're only doing, I think it's 13 to 16 episodes, so it's just a little easier for them to get contracts with big actors. The problem with getting really big actors is that they're usually hesitant to sign away their entire year to a single project. So if you tell them, oh, you only have to do 13 episodes so you still have time to go do a movie, it's a lot easier to get them on board. But we get even better shots of Vandal Savage in the past. It definitely looks like the meteorite that we saw in the Flash Arrow crossover trailer has something to do with Vandal Savage's plan. Like either it gives him his powers or he harnesses it as an engine for change. If it wasn't clear, Flash and Arrow are on break this week. When they come back next week, that's the big crossover episode. It's 2 hours long. Part 1 is on the Flash, Part 2 is on Arrow. That's gonna set up Legends of Tomorrow. It's kind of like a Legends of Tomorrow 2-hour episode. But even though they don't appear in this trailer, Oliver and Barry will be on Legends of Tomorrow, just not every single episode. Like we see Laurel in the trailer, most of the big characters from Arrow and the Flash will cross over. The really cool thing is that the villains will cross over too, so that means Zoom and Damien Dark. I don't know if they're going to be working with Vandal Savage. Then if you're going to be one of the most powerful people on the planet, you are going to bump into him at some point in time. Just look at Jax's Firestorm costume though. This is so close to the comic books, it's crazy. When he says he does more, that means that he's going to have extra powers that we haven't seen Firestorm use yet. My first thought is that they'll just show him using his transmutation powers. That's a big part of the Firestorm Matrix in the comics. Being able to modify the molecular structure of objects. Because Hawkman and Hawkgirl are so important to Vandal Savage's backstory, my hate will follow you across time, as he said in the last trailer. A lot of these moments that we're seeing in the trailer are from their comics, or from like the Hawkman, Hawkgirl comic book stories. Like St. Rock University. St. Rock the city actually shows up during Hawkman's solo title. If you look here, this is actually the new Arrow cave from Arrow Season 4 that looks like it's in ruins. This is the far future. They did say that we would see a future version of the Green Arrow that's not Oliver Queen. Like, at some point in the far future, Oliver dies and another person is inspired to take up the mantle. They made it sound like Connor Hawke, but it would not be Oliver's child. So Connor Hawke might be on the show, but he's not going to be Oliver's son. And when Rip Hunter yells at them for messing with the timeline, they actually do derp a little bit and try to change their own histories for the better. Like you see the Atom here, this is his wife. Remember how she died when they were out together? He wasn't able to save her, so that inspired him to become the Atom. He's gonna try and change that. Captain Cold talking to himself as a child. You get the idea, butterfly effect. So part of the drama of the show is them fixing the problems that they create for themselves too, in addition to fixing Vandal Savage problems. The really interesting thing though is that on part 2 of the big crossover episode, they're supposed to develop some sort of weapon for dealing with Vandal Savage. I have no idea what that's going to be, but they did say that it would involve Team Flash and Team Arrow working together, so I'm hoping it's like a cross between something mystical and something technological. But everybody freak out, get hyped. I mean, there's Game of Thrones stuff this morning about Jon Snow. Now we have Legends of Tomorrow. There's going to be new Star Wars stuff later tonight. So there's a whole bunch of videos that I'm working on. I have new Jessica Jones, new Marvel stuff, new Star Wars. While you guys wait for everything to post, you can click here to learn all about that big Game of Thrones Jon Snow teaser that HBO released. And you can click here for all my other Flash Arrow videos. And you can click here for my trailer for the Flash Arrow crossover that's happening next week. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.